Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time to Jimmy's Neighborhood Bees. I'm Jimmy, getting ready to do some bee box work, but let me do this. Let me read the fortune, give you a little commentary, and then tell you what I'm gonna do. And yeah, so we'll get into that real quick. I'll tell you why. Anyway, it says one of the keys to happiness is a bad memory. So one of the keys to happiness is a bad memory. Now, I know quarterbacks think like that because if you throw an interception, you can't think about that the rest of the game. You gotta move on with the rest of the game. And the same, I guess, with, you mess up or something breaks or whatever, you can't let that ruin the rest of your day. Just forget about it, move on, correct whatever it is you can correct, and continue on making everything work. All right. So before I get into today's video, I want to say with the recent hurricane that passed in the south, Florida, the little corner there of Florida, up to Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, there's a lot of devastation. There's a lot of loss of life. As of making this video, the last count I saw in the news was 95 people. That's a lot of people. So you got to think about those people. If you can help. There'll be places where you can donate money if you have it to donate. Watch out for scams, of course, because the vultures come out when there's a natural disaster. I kind of know, like, we moved up here to Virginia from Florida, South Florida, and we got here about a month and a half before Hurricane Andrew. I was in the Navy at the time. I was recruiting when I was living in Florida. And we couldn't bring all of our cars. We had 2 cars and the U-Haul truck, so we had to do one at a time. And we still had 1 car down there in Florida when Hurricane Andrew hit. And so that kind of wiped that one off the books. But I ended up taking some leave, and I loaded up my car here with a chainsaw, gallons of water, and I had gas cans full of gas. And I drove down to Florida because I knew some of the people that I recruited, some of the kids, they weren't gonna be able to come home. So I went to try to help their families down there. And it was an eye-opening experience. Sharon has family in Louisiana. And of course, a lot of them was affected by Hurricane Katrina, as well as I still have a brother and sister in Louisiana as well. And other than some minor property damage, they were okay. But Sharon's family, lost entire houses and things like that. So these natural disasters, they're no joke. So if you can, do what you can. Okay, that's enough of that. Today, I broke the saw out real quick. We're still in bouts of rain from that. It's overcast, as you can see, but we're still having bouts of rain from the Hurricane Helena. And so we're supposed to get more rain this afternoon, but I wanted to cut down these boxes before the rain so I can put the saw back up. I don't have an inside shop, so everything has to be done outside. What I did was I made these nuc boxes the other day, glued them up and screwed them up. I used screws. And I was gonna turn these into sugar boards or candy boards. And so to help the 2 nucs, because remember, I'm gonna be babying those 2 nucs more than any other of the other 2 beehives because they're pretty much established, which I'll get into that too, because the yellow hive, remember I put a new queen in there from BeeWeaver. And when I looked in it the other day, she had brood on 2.5 of my XL frames. So she was laying. The other queen was not laying at all. There was no brood in there. So the new queen, she's laying brood. There's room in there. Everything is good in that hive. Anyway, but back to this box. I'm gonna just cut off 2 of the little, where it has the little things. I'm gonna cut them off. Just gotta make sure you watch where your screws are, or nails if you use nails. But I'm just gonna cut off 2 and then have the rest of it as a sugar board, and then this will be for a feeder shim. And I have 2 boxes. I made them up the other day, and I dipped them in Eco Wood already, and they've been sitting outside on my pallet top here for, you know, a week, I guess. And so I'll go ahead on and cut these. I got some safety glasses. I got a little dust mask here. So safety somewhere. That's for Mr. C. Anyway, let me cut these down. Okay, I put the saw back in the storage shed because, like I said, at any minute we could be getting the rain. So these two will be feeder shims. Very, very nice. But what I'm gonna do is treat the fresh cut with Eco Wood. I've got 1/2-inch hardware cloth, and I have my 10 frame sugar board feeder as a just to see, you know, make sure I know what I'm doing. Yeah, that's funny. But anyway, yeah, so I see how this is made. They got a little relief, like maybe 1/4 inch relief, so it doesn't actually sit flush. And that's how I build mine. I got them from another beekeeper. They actually, when I first started beekeeping 5 years ago or so, there was a workshop on how to build candy boards, and you paid like a little price, and they built the candy board, and you got to take it home and all that stuff. So you got to do it yourself, and once you learn, then you do it yourself. Anyway, so treat this with Eco Wood, lay out my hardware cloth, and yeah. And if I don't get it all done today, that's fine, because Sharon is out of town on a business trip, and she left me with a honeydew list, and this is not on it. Okay, so this is just for me, but I gotta get this done as much as I can, and then get to work on her honeydew list, because it's all inside the house. So when it rains, I'll go in there and do her stuff. But until then, I'm gonna take advantage of this non-rain weather and get my stuff done too. Okay, while the Eco Wood is well, one, drying but soaking in the Eco Wood, the boxes are anyway, I'm gonna update what's going on here in the beehive, in the apiary. Real quick, my watering station, bees are all around it. Well, they were a minute ago. There you go, they're still flying, but they tend to like it with the wood getting soaked. Bees all the way up in the inside here. And I do need to refill my salt water here. However, yeah, you can see they like landing on the wood and sucking the water off the wood. And again, that was just an old a tree stump that we had cut, and I cut a slice out of it. I cut a slice out of the tree stump and used that to put that rock on. Let's go over here real quick. Okay, let me get you guys situated. All right, here we have the copper top Nuc XL frames that I use, my XLs. the bees were storing nectar, honey, sugar water, all at the top, and at the bottom, the queen was still laying. Remember, that was donated to me by an anonymous donor who wanted to remain anonymous. Thank you very much. You know who you are, and I'll see you on Thursday. He always says that when he sees me. Anyway, so that one is doing fine. Those frames, I probably could have upgraded and put all XL frames, but the bees drew out so much, I let them go. I'll deal with it in the spring. I'll put in new XL frames and move those, treat them as a cutout, and you know, the same thing. Anyway, the yellow hive, if you remember, oh, I see a spider got one of the bees, caught one of the bees over here. Anyway, if you remember, the queen in this one was not performing well at all. And what I did was I ordered in a queen from BeeWeaver, not sponsored, just what I got. And I put her in the cage. It took her 3 days. You know, I had the queen in there. I took her out because she just wasn't performing. It's not that I didn't see the queen and didn't see any signs of a queen. I saw no signs of a queen, but I saw the queen. And so I took her out. I put her in the freezer. So she's on ice. And I brought in a BeeWeaver queen. And the last time I looked in here, she had brood on 2.5 of my XL frames. So she was building up for winter. So I was happy about that. The farmhouse. So this yellow hive and the farmhouse both have BeeWeaver queens. This copper top nuke here, the copper top nuke, which is my XL frame, 5-frame nuke, and my deep nuke over here, both have local queens. So, so just to update the farmhouse here, everything is going well with the farmhouse. Bees are flying in and out. Everybody has feed on them. I'm probably going to switch the 2 nukes out to 2-to-1 sugar syrup, and the yellow nuke, yellow hive, and the farmhouse hive both are running right now like a 5-to-2, basically. 5 parts water with 2 parts sugar, whatever it is, yeah. So, anyway, it's a little bit thicker than 1-to-1, but not quite 2-to-1. So that's how you want to put it. And now my last hive here is the deep nuke. Let's see what you can see. The deep nuke here has just a deep box with nuke, and it has medium that I took out of the freezer with 2 frames of it being capped over honey and nectar in there, uncapped nectar. And it has the Carousel feeder. I couldn't even think of the name. Lord, I'm getting old. The Carousel feeder, and I top it off every other day or so. It doesn't need a full, but it's just getting topped off, and this is getting the 5-to-2 or whatever, however you want to say it. A little bit more than 1-to-1, or a lot more than 1-to-1, but not quite 2-to-1. Anyway, so that's the update in the hive situation in the apiary. Let's go back and do the boxes. Okay, I rolled out my hardware cloth, and of course I'm gonna do extra, and I'm gonna cut it so that I can make it manageable for you know. And I just got a pair of wire cutters, and I'm just gonna cut it. The width is fine. I'm just gonna cut it to length and leave a little extra so that I can staple it inside the box a little bit higher. Okay, I went and got a pair of gloves, scrap piece of wood here, a hammer, a 2x4 to help, flatten things out. And I'm folding the first row down just to make it easier for me to not stick myself so much. So I'm gonna fold it over and hammer it down. And I can hear the rain starting to come, so I may not finish this today, which is fine. The sugar board goes on in, will go on sometime in, November, October, November, probably November. And basically all you got to do is get it into shape, and I'm going to make sure it'll fit inside the because I want to raise it about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom so that it's not sitting flush. It'll have a little relief. The bees will be able to get up there, get to it, go back down, do whatever they do, which is the way this one is. It's about 1/4 of an inch. So but yeah, the rain's coming. I don't want the camera to get wet. So I'm gonna close this one out here. And if I don't finish today, I'll finish, once it starts, it's supposed to rain for the next 3 days. I think it is, or off and on or something like that. So if I have to get back to this at the end of the week, I'll get back to it. But I'll show you the finished product once I finish with it. And then I'll tell you how I do my sugar, and which I haven't even purchased yet. So I got to do that. But yeah, so that's it. Cut my box down, got the saw back in, got to get my other stuff back in the storage shed. Like I said, the rains are coming. I'm getting wet now, so I'm gonna close this one out. Okay, the rain stopped for a little while. I decided to come back out and try to finish these boxes up. I finished the first one, so we got our screen in, so it's all good here. I'm working on the second one now, and I'm using my little aluminum straight edge 2x3 to as a straight edge also. And yeah, so I'm folding it to try to get it so that when I tack it in the box with the staple gun, it's all good. Okay, y'all, I got it done. Both of the sugar boards or candy boards, however you're calling them. As you might be able to see, there's a little relief along the bottom, about 1/4 of an inch or so that when I put it on top of it, the candy board doesn't lay flat right on top of the frames. There's a little space there, allows the bees to move around, get up in that candy, and survive through winter, hopefully. What my ultimate goal is I'll put one of these on the copper top nuc, which is a 5 frame, and it'll have a nice thick candy board on there. I'll put a hole in the center of it so that if they do decide to go all the way up through to my feeder shim, that's where I'm going to have my fondant pack on the feeder shim. That's on the copper top. On the 5 frame nuc, the deep, there is no, the feeder shim is a Ciracel box. So what I will do is take that off. Once the temperatures here get below freezing, like at night or whatever, I'll take that box off, Put the candy board on, and on top of the candy board, I'll put the inner cover, and I have the fondant pack to put on here. However, that fondant pack is a little bit too wide for this 5 frame nuc, but I have a half-gallon Ziploc bag, which is skinny. It fits in here, it's skinny and long. And so what I did was I took all of the fondant out of a fondant pack, put it in the half-gallon Ziploc bag. And I will probably make 2 of those for the deep nuc, because that's the one that's, you know, last minute. I just got it, and that's my the one that I want to nurse through winter. So I'll probably make 2 of those fondant packs, but right now I only have 1. Yeah, so I'll use that. So it'll be candy board. The inner cover will be on top of the candy board, but then on top of the inner cover will be the Ziploc nuc. Anyway, all right. Thank y'all for watching, and yeah, it's getting down to the wire here for winter with the bees. So soon the watering system will be turned off. Probably once it starts to freeze at night, I'll turn the watering system off and drain it, and I'll probably just leave the jars out because they can handle the freeze and thaw. I have some plastic ones. So anyway, or I'll use the glass, but I won't fill it up all the way. Anyway, that's it. I'm just rambling. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Next week, there'll be another one. All right. See y'all. And, have fun with your bees, but not in the rain, you know. Don't go in your hives in the rain.